Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? How do I look on this shit? Okay. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Here for another day of YouTube streaming. I think this marks the halfway point of this daily so far. Um, yeah, it's day 50, y'all. Yay! Excited about it, obviously, and um we have 50 more days of this to go. Today we are modeling something exciting. Um, we're going to be taking on an electric transformer. Yeah. So I think first of all, I just want to clear the scene. Then I think before I go any further, I want to make sure that I'm live. That's one. Two, we have video feed and audio feed. So yeah, day 50. I'm live. That's one. Two, we have video feed and audio feed. So yeah, day 50 live. That's one. Right. It's all good. So we're going to get into it. First of all, I already have a reference. However, to my next screen, I have a couple of references that you know I would like to model and emulate for this. So first of all, I'm going to bring in my reference, and my reference is going to be in the download folder. I'm going to put it into the scene, and I'm going to Alt R, Alt G, and RX90. Just have that flush into the scene, and I'm going to bring in a cube, leave that up to the surface right here, and that's cool. So right here, I'm going to scale this, right? And then move this into position, just like so. Dash GX, right? Uh, we have that looking good. I'm going to take this top and GZ down onto the surface. So that's cool. This just going to move on the y-axis, and I think we have our base to work with. I think we really have the front axis to work with. And again, I think it's one of those where I would want to produce a lot more than just one. So let's just see how it goes. So right here, I'm going to extrude this out, and I think something this lends to is the privilege to flip things when I need to. When I mean flip things, just use the mirror modifier basically. So from time to time, I would either swipe to see what the actual model looks like, or I will go to the actual reference in Blender. So for this one right here, this is not it's not totally flush. It's not like totally flush to the scene. So right here, I want to scale that down and Shift X, just like so. So we have that. I'm going to delete this face and then this edge, and then I can fill this. So let's see what this looks like. Obviously we are short of some points, so I'm going to GZ this up, take this and GZ downwards. So this right here, I'm going to fit into position just like so. And this is the first step. I think we're going to do high level blockouts first of all, and then we'll build from there. So next, I want to do footer. So I'm going to SX and GX, right? And GX right to this point, and I want to SY. Open this up. However, I need this to be on the actual surface. Like I don't want it to intersect with the main body. SY. Okay, that's cool. I'll take this and delete those edges. Now I know that I can apply a solidify modifier to this, just like so. Apply scale. I'm going to dial back on that solidify modifier. So this is the actual size. Something I want to do is probably I'm going to take this down mesh and GC, just lift it above the surface. So we're cool on that. I can take this part and just flip to the other side. So we are making, yeah, I would say we're making good progress. Next I want to do is this. I don't know what these things are, but they are such distinctive factors or visual cues of what the transformer should look like, and yeah, it looks really amazing. I'm going to bring in a cube to do this actually. So right here I'm going to G, scale that. I'm going to scale on the Z just like so, and GZ, SZ, GZ, SX. So right here I can GY out and SY, GY, SX, Shift DX. So I'm just going to create this repeated pattern over here. I can select all of it and I'm scaling towards the active element. Ouch. SX. So I think we have this flush a little bit. I feel like there's more to this area than my eye is saying. So I want to SZ and kind of take more note of things. For example, I feel like this R90 is capped at this part. So I can SX, scale that, GX, and Shift DC. Okay, that's smooth. I'm going to bring in some of these knots, and to me it looks something like something like this actually. So the cylinder is going to face me, and I'm going to give it a 6-sided vertex count. So first cylinder is going to come to the side. Theirs is 3. I'm going to make mine 4, and that's because I want to be able to effectively use the mirror modifier. So right here I want to select the cylinder and GY out onto the surface. So we have that. I can select, I'm going to move this on the Z-axis a little, frame selected, and then I'm going to select this and then just scale that up. Right, I'm going to GY, scale all of that down, SY, just like so. So this looks good. Right here I'm going to scale down, and I mean I could add a bevel to this, but no, I think I like this. This is cool the way it is. So I'm going to Shift the X and then apply mirror modifier, and I think, yeah, a little bit to the center, but I would move this away somehow. So we're up to this point right now. I think the top has, let's see, it has a little bit of a covering. So what I'm seeing for the covering is that it's an entirely new mesh, right? So this is going to look something like this, scaled all the way up. I'm going to scale it on the Y too. I'm going to GZ and extrude downwards. So I'm going to take out this face basically, and then I'm going to add in a bevel to this. As a matter of fact, that baby is too soft, so this is cool. I like this. To the side we have some kind of a hook. I don't know what this hook is for, but I want to introduce that hook. So for that hook, I'm going to bring it around the halfway point, somewhere around here. Right, and I think first of all is to bring in a plane. So with the plane, I can turn this to the Z, or to the view rather, and then just morph things till we achieve the shape. G to this point. I'm going to put a loop right here, put a loop right here, and maybe 3 loops right here. So I can GG, GG, GG. So we kind of have the shape, but if I apply a subdivision, that's when we actually know if it's working. So I'm going to G this into our main body mesh and just start adding holding loops, basically. So I'm applying holding loops to where necessary. GG. Okay. I'm going to bring this here, bring this here, bring this here. G. This part I want to loosen it a little more so we have a more rounder. Much more rounder fall off right here. So I'm just going to move things out of the way so that sub D can act actually. Okay. I think this is cool. We have a good, I think we have a good hook shape. I'm going to apply our sub D and then just extrude this out a smidge. So we have this. I'm going to shade auto smooth and I'll make sure this appears at the other side also. So yeah, that is good progress. I think next up is creating this top. It looks like a mech to me. It looks like a mech, honestly. But before I go any further, I want to quickly bring in and then SX, SZ, SY, GY. Apply scale. SY, GY, forward. Okay. So I like this. I'm going to, looking at the top, I want to look for a reference that has that top so I can see what it looks like. Right here, I'll copy this and I'll bring in PureF. Pin it to Blender. One second, guys. I just want to just gather the reference I'm going to be using into one spot. Okay. So I think I pretty much have them. For this, I really don't know how I'm going to, but let me create this path first before I start thinking about what is going on up here. So this part is going to be, I think I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it along these lines like so. Bring this to this point. I'm going to bring a plane, come to the front view, switch this to view, scale down, and GX, scale down, GX, GZ. All right, so I'm going to rotate this, add in more loop counts, and then you see this, I'm going to insert, merge by distance, insert, turn this into a circle, and GZ. Right, so I can delete this face, and we have the shape right here. I can just extrude all of that into the shape. So that's cool. I'm gonna scale this down and GZ just like so. And we have a good shape to start with. I think for this one in front, I'm just going to model what I see, and since I can't really like get like real references, I'm just going to go off of what I'm seeing right here. And for this, I'm going to add this, and right here I'm going to duplicate this and separate. Right, so for me, this is what this looks like. To the side, I can EY, easy. Right, I'm going to the front view again, Z and EY, just like so. So I can GY, this also GY. So that's cool. This is going to be like built really slowly because again, I really don't know what's going on this area. Come on, man. Okay, this is what we're trying to model right here. So from what I'm seeing, I would assume that right here we have this that goes on the y-axis just like so. Right, we can select all of that and just extrude, and then with this I can GY, I can extrude along the normals, but maybe I want to add in a solidify modifier. So that's cool. I think towards here we have something like a gate. So if we have something like that, that means this should extrude all the way to the ground, right? And then we have something like this. I'm going to do this differently from what they did here because there's doesn't make sense in the context of my own. So I'm going to do something like this, like a cage. Right, select this, then GZ, right here I can EX, just like so. So that's cool. I think right here I could add some little embellishments. So we're going to have something like this, bevel, and then extrude along the mouse. Or maybe I'm going to extrude the other way. That's cool. Right here I'm going to bring this in and extrude that. So all of these faces around here, frame selected, I'm going to delete the faces. GX. So that's cool. I'm going to select this. I'll select this face actually. Oh, how do I select the center of this? So let me bring geometry to this point, and I can select this center and flip. That's cool. I can select all of that and add the solidify modifier to it. That's cool. Right here we want to add in a knot, so I'm going to bring in this. I'm going to bring in a cylinder with 6 sides, scale it on the Z, and I'm going to bring in the cylinder with 24 sides. So we're going to have something like this. I'm going to join both and shade auto smooth, and with this we can mirror to the other side too. That's cool. So these two, I can apply those to mesh and then join both. Then the next I'm going to work on is that cylindrical structure. Right here there's something to that I need to recreate. Right here I can bring cursor to this point. First of all, I can bring a cylinder, scale that down. Can scale this, select all, GZ, SZ, can scale this down, and then this edge right here, I can apply scale to that and just bevel. Right, I can GZ, and this edge right here, I can fill that face, and I want to bring in a cylinder to this point, so I can scale down on that cylinder, right, and SZ. So I want to bring in what do you call that thing? I think it's like an Archimedes spiral. So shade mode, and to this point I'm going to shift A, go to the curves, and we'll go to spiral, we'll go to Archimedean spiral, and yeah, that's what we're looking for. I think radius needs to come down first of all, right, and then we need to increase heights a little bit. I think somewhere around here is cool, and then I think steps, no, not steps, tons has to increase, so height comes down a little bit, tons increases. So I think somewhere around here is cool. I'm going to go into the curves and add geometry to this. Let's see what it looks like. I think geometry is cool. I can select this, bring origin to geometry, and scale this down, and just GC, S Shift C. Shift C. Okay, so that's looking good. I think the only thing I need to do is probably bevel this edge. Mm, the joining right here, I don't know what kind of joining is going to be, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Then I'm going to go on to the big structure, that is cylindrical thing in the jiggy. So I'm going to bring in a cylinder first. Let me quickly check stream to see if we're still on and if there's any chat to attend to. Quickly check stream to see if we're still on and if there's any chat to attend. So there's someone there, Taco. Shout out to you, man, for dropping a chat. I really, really do appreciate it. You said you love watching people 3D model, and yeah, honestly, like, it's one of my favorites on YouTube channel to just watch model. I don't know if you know this channel. I'm going to open it right here. Joyce 3D. Her modeling and the way she explains it is so therapeutic. I doubt that I can see my screen right now, but let me see if I can make you see my screen. Let me move to display capture. So this is Joyce 3D right here. I think you can see my screen right now. If you watch her tutorial, you would love 3D modeling again. She makes it look so easy. She makes it look so achievable, and it looks really fun, to be honest. Another 3D channel that I enjoy watching them 3D model has to be what's his name? I think it's Christopher 3D, and there's a Thomas too. Those are really, really good 3D channels, and yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Dead Taco, it's therapeutic, it's fun, especially when it's something you're familiar with and you just watch someone create something from nothing. It's really nice, man. So I share your sentiments. I'm just going to go back to our model. Auto smooth. I'm going to go to OBS and switch. I'm going to switch to, was it an application capture? I think it was an application capture. No, Windows capture actually. So yeah, we're going to continue modeling. Right here, I'm going to bring in a cylinder. Think right about that size. I'm going to GZ, and on the top, I'm going to select that, apply scale, bevel that a smidge. I think right here I need to bring in some edge loops, select these faces, insert. I'm going to turn that into a circle, but I want the insert to be so much more. All right, turn that into a circle, and then I'm going to flip this to the other side, apply that mirror, and then I'm going to bridge both just like so. So we have the shape, but it's all messed up and janked up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can add a bevel. If I can't, then let me just merge by distance. Can I add a bevel? I do not think I can. So I need to figure out a way to clean this up more proper. If I can't use a boolean, I think I have to use a boolean for this. So I'm going to bring in, I'll just duplicate this on the Z. Rotate X by 90, and can just scale this into position and use that as the boolean. GZ, scale. I'm going to, is there a sub D on this? No sub D. So I cannot do a difference on this. We need more loop count on this side. You know what? I'm going to undo this loop, and I'm just going to add the right amount of loop that I need to resolve this mesh. One, two, three, four. That's cool. That's a good amount of loops. I think same applies to this side too. I'm just going to add loops to where I feel like I need them expressly to make this boolean work. Okay. So this boolean, I'm going to take it and just apply that. I'm going to delete this, and yeah, can probably just start merging things at last. All of this merge at last. This that's line follow. I'm going to repeat this, merge this, merge those, merge this, apply mirror, apply mirror. So I think I'm pretty much satisfied with that. I think I'm almost doing an overkill there. So let's move on to something else. I think right here we need to make this extrude along the surface. So I'm going to extrude this along the normals, and from what I can see, there's some kind of a space down here. So I'm going to run a loop down here. I'm going to select all of this. Let's see. I think this included. And then I almost want to delete, but I want to extrude around normal. So I'm going to take all of this and just shock in just like so. And we need to bring in some kind of a rectangular structure right here. So this is going to be SX, GZ, just like so, GZ. SX. That's cool. This right here, I'm going to select both, apply scale, bevel. So that's cool. Right here, I'm going to introduce a different mesh as this plate. So for that plate, I think I'm going to do something like this. So where I need it, I'm going to bring my cursor exactly to that point, and then I'm going to bring in a circle. So that circle, I'm going to scale it down, GZ, scale it to the correct position. With this, I'm going to fill, ES, GZ, just like so, scale that down, GZ. And with this part, I'm going to extrude on the Z axis. And with this, I'm going to add in some loop cuts, bevel this, and I'm going to extrude this along, just like so. So that's cool. I think something I'm going to do with this face is extrude this down. I'm going to insert and GZ, just like so. So this is a cool shape. I'm going to shade auto smooth, and that looks good. I think I want to bring in a bevel, just something tiny to make all of those edges softer. Mm, looking at this, I feel like this should be scaled in tiny little bits. So I'm going to scale it with the bounding box. Just bring that down. Okay, that's cool. So with this now, I can shift DZ, create other instances of that right here. And let's see if there's something that we are missing. I think at the base, there's something. So right here, I'm just going to select all. And I'm going to GY up to this point. And from the top view of this, it looks like this is standing on something. So I'm going to bring in a loop cut around this area, right? Shift D, separate that selection. I'm going to select this and scale this up, right? I'm going to fill that and extrude that ever so slightly. So what I want to do is introduce these nuts or this bolt and nuts, whatever, to it. So I'm going to shift D, separate this selection. I'm going to bring in origin to geometry, and I want this to stand somewhere around. I'm going to select this and insert. I want this to be somewhere around here. Whoa, somewhere around here. That's not bad. So I'm going to bring this down here and GX all the way out. So this is going to be GZ, and I'm going to bring cursor to the center right there, and then this origin of this is going to be to the 3D cursor. So I can scale that down, and I want to rotate this. So I can do Shift DR Z, and I can do 360 divided by 6, right? So I can just duplicate that across, and from what I can see, I need to select all of this. I feel like this goes all the way through to the ground. So we can select all of them, come under here, select those, and choose. So that's perfect. That makes sense. Something that makes sense that I think I want to add, and it's probably not part of the design of the one I'm using as a reference, is this knot that goes round all the way around. I want to add that. So for that, I can Shift D, bring this to this side. I'm going to bring origin to geometry, and then I would scale from okay, I'm going to separate that selection, bring origin to geometry. I'm going to scale this up, and then I'm going to start from this side, this corner right here. So what I'm going to do next is GC, and then I'm going to array this. Okay, so I'm going to reset everything that concerns this, and I'm going to do the array again. Okay, somewhere around there is good. So this bolt formation, I can just flip it to the other side, and that is cool. Something I want to include are these high tension wires that just go all the way through, just like so. So I want to bring in right here, I'm going to bring in a curve to that point. So Bezier curve is going to go in. I'm going to select all of that and SY0. I'm going to RZ90, and with this I can select all and subdivide. So this is going to be somewhere around here. This is going to be somewhere around here. So I can give dimension to those. Let's say I'm going to rotate this like this, and I'll just add some depth to that wire. So that's cool. I'm going to select all of this, and I think, let me be honest with you guys, I feel like I want to duplicate all of this, but that won't even make sense. So I'm going to take that, right, and just duplicate by hand, basically. Or maybe I want to make this 4, right, so that the duplication will be easy. So looking at something like this, something like this. Are these all selected? I'm going to deselect that one. This is good. I think this is going to be 3, so I'm going to shift D X, repeat to this side 1 time, and then repeat that selection. So that is cool. I think the only thing I need to do right now is just distort the formation of this, basically. Cool. On the Z axis, I want to bring this to the side just like so. G, rotate G. So I like what this is looking like. This I'm going to flip to the other side. I don't think this looks good actually, so I'm going to take it out. Everything else works. The only thing I want to do now is I'm seeing some imperfections in the way this is rendered, and I want to bring it into mine somehow. So this I'm going to extrude outward like so. I'm going to add in a loop right here. I'm going to select this. I'm going to extrude. So that's cool. What else? I feel like this also, like right by the edges, there are just some imperfections that I feel like needs to be captured, like some trim sheets basically. So for example, this. So I can put this to the side, bevel this, extrude this inward. That's cool. Yeah, I think this is okay for this one. I think I want to add in to this part, I want to add in like a general bevel. Just something light for everything. That's cool. I'm going to take all of this and I'll copy that. Right. Or maybe I can just shift DX. And then something I want to do is create like a 4-plug system and have some options for something in front right here. So all of these wires I'm going to take off. Right. For this, I'm going to put it into transformer 1, new collection, transformer 1. Let me quickly check charts. I'm just thinking about the dude, the tackle. that dropped the chart. And yeah, I really do appreciate that first chart. So it so happens that Mohammed also dropped the chart. I'm sorry guys, I don't have a second screen, so I can't immediately call out the charts when I see them. So you're like, sir, please provide the reference image link as well. So what I'm going to do right now is, I don't think I can edit this live. I would have just dropped in all the references that I used, you know. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to call back all the tabs that I've closed, first of all. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to call back all the tabs that I've closed, and then I'm going to add it to the description. Let me see if I can edit. If I can edit on the fly, that would be great. Like, I mean, so this is one of the reference. I'm going to copy that and place in the description. Link to reference. I really hope that you'll be able to open this Google link. Like, it's so long, actually. So long. You know what? I'm going to approach it like this. I feel like, wait, I'm not going to do it on the live, because if I save this change, will it affect the live? I don't know. I do not know. I won't like something to affect this live right now, because it's going really well and I'm enjoying myself. So let me just try. I mean, if it breaks, it breaks, and I just learned something today. But if it doesn't, it's also good. So I'm just going to pull all the references that I'm using and drop in the charts. You can pull them from those websites and, work on yours. It is not one particular reference, so you would have to just sort through and see what's working for you and what you want, what you don't want, stuff like that. And the last reference I'm going to share is this, and I'm calling this last reference because I think I'm going to make something in this format, right? I'm just going to add that to the description. And Mohammed, like, you can check right now, I've saved it. You should be able to have links to those references. I'm just going to quickly check the live, reload it, and see. Okay, I think I'm still live. It still works. So yeah, I'm going to go back to Blender and just work. This transformer one, I'm going to turn off that layer so that I can get into this one and delete this. So the reason I want to delete that is because I kind of want to duplicate this into smaller fixtures. So you see this, I want to shift D, Y, and GX into smaller fixtures. So they're going to be like smaller right here, and GX, I'm going to shift DX, one, repeat that, and repeat that. So it's going to be something like this, and I'm going to introduce those knots again. But this time around, I'm going to use this, right? So I'm going to select one of these, shift D, bring that up to the surface, and I'm going to bring origin to geometry and RX90, RX180 to bring that to the top. And right here on the Z axis, I'm going to G this to this point, right? And with this, I can shift DX, repeat, and then I can select all of those and make it smaller basically. So I can bring this to this point and shift DY, or maybe I can select this and flip to the other side. So that's cool. I'm okay with this. I feel like these fixtures right here should also appear at the back. So I'm going to, another fact, I'm going to GZ this up to the top, and you see these knots. I want to reselect them and extrude all of this GZ downwards. So all these discs I'm going to deselect. So take this GZ, take this GZ down to the surface. I can deselect this, deselect this, deselect this. So right here I can scale from individual origins and just no, individual origins are big. So I can take all this stuff and bring them down. Okay, so I'm good with that. I think to the side now I want to add something different, right? So you see this cage that I have right here. I want to shift D, R that by 90, scale that down, GY, and I'm going to SX. So all of this I want to pull in just like so. And this cage, I could GY, SY, SZ, GZ, scale that. And that's cool. I think GX could go into the spots and this would flip to the other side. And I think we're literally getting a second piece of this. Something I think is fascinating to me is this extension right here. I really like this touch and I want to add it to this part. So you see this two, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to bring in an edge right here. Bevel bolts. I'm going to add this and this two I'm going to duplicate, right? So this will be the basis of how we're going to create this. I can GX all the way out, right? That's cool. I'm going to take out the mirror on this and also take out this part too. So I'm just going to work on one for now. Or no, I'm just going to work on one for now. So this right here, I'm going to bevel. I feel like I'm actually enjoying myself. I'm going to extrude this just a smidge, take this face and then extrude. So we have that. I'm going to bring cursor to this point and then mesh. I'm going to take up to 32 vertices. Right on the side, I'm going to rotate by 90, scale that down, and GZ. So, what I'm seeing with this is something pretty straightforward. I'm going to bring cursor to this point, and you see the center of this. I'm going to bring it to the 3D cursor, so I can flip this to the other side. Right, so I'm going to create that shape by SY. That's smooth. GY, feed in, and then I'm going to bring this right here, select this and extrude along normals. That is cool. I feel like right here I want to insert SX and SZ, but that's not the shape actually. So I'm going to scale this down and GZ, and I want to see I'm going to bring origin to 3D cursor. What I want to see is if I can duplicate this on the C. No, I can't. So what I can do, let me see if I can take 1/2 of this vertices and just extrude downward basically, and just GZ, just like so. So we kind of have not the exact same shape but something similar. So this is going to go in, and then this surface is going to protrude out. Right here I'll add this and extrude this outward. So this is cool. When Shift D, bring origin to this point, and right here I want to bring that knot I've created to this point. So, or that knot I've duplicated, I'm going to bring it to this point. I noticed there's a mistake right here, so I'm probably going to remove this knot entirely. So it's going to be like this is attached to that, and there is no knot for these fixtures at the side. Let's see. So the base is going to be as Z and GZ. Okay. I'm not mad at that actually. So we have this. I'm going to click that and RX90. I think I'm already going for like an hour plus right now. Okay, almost an hour. That's pretty good. I'm just quickly going to check YouTube in case anyone has dropped the chat. Okay, almost an hour. Yeah. Someone else has dropped the chat, and I mean, like, I feel like has been like the most engaging live I've worked on. Taiwo Noel, I'm just learning how to build 3D model. Seeing your video has been a great encouragement. Yo, Taiwo, thank you so much for that. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. And as a matter of fact, like, at the end of this, I keep saying it, but I want to hold like a beginner's class. Like, if you feel like you need a nudge to sort of, prepare yourself to actually learning 3D for real. I want to hold that class. I'll probably put that out on my Twitter when I'm done with this. I think 4 or 5 lives I should be able to take everybody through what it takes, and what the road ahead would look like. Take you through the basics, get your foot in the door, and the rest is in your hand. It's all of this is still kind of thoughts, right? They are still like something I'm still thinking about, yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be nice. The tricky part about that is going to be, yeah. So the tricky part about that is going to be having to use Vanilla Blender, right? Yeah, I've not used Vanilla Blender in a long time, So I'm going to have to sit down with Vanilla Blender for a while first, because it's been a while, you know. Because again, like if you're teaching beginners, you won't want to be using add-ons and stuff like that. Using add-ons won't be great. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with this. I would just select the prime edge. No, I'm going to select this edge, scale down, extrude, and normals, and that's cool. You see all of this null side duplicated. I'm going to select them, and I'm going to scale them down basically. Join, scale those down, GZ, scale. Okay, so that's fire actually. I'm going to select this and duplicate to the other side, right? I think same with this. Same with this knot, I want to duplicate to the other side. So in order for this to sound properly, there is a wedge down here. So I'm going to create that wedge with extrusion. So right here, I want to add in a loop. I'm going to select 1, 2, extrude that, and with this I can GX in. I'm going to add in some knots on the side, so it cements that. So right here, I'm going to add this. I'm going to bring 3D cursor down here, and I'm going to reset origin to geometry and bring this down here. So I'm going to scale this up, cheesy, and we're going to just create some formation of this. So it's going to be like Shift DX 1, 2, select all of that, and Shift DY, move to the other side. So we're cool on this. I'm just going to duplicate to the other side, and yeah, this is fresh, but it needs to be so much bigger though, like so much bigger. So I'm going to select all of this. I feel like the stand is good, but this needs to be bigger. So we're going to scale from the bounding box. As a matter of fact, I think origin needs to be around here. So origin is going to go to 3D cursor. I'm going to select the items again and just scale that crazily. GZ. That's cool. I don't know what's going on here. Could it be that I have a face inside here? Let's see. So there's a face in here, and I think that's what's causing that weird shading. It's gone now. I'm seeing something going on here. There's a pipe in here. That's going to be easy to do because I was already thinking of leaving that, but let me just add in that detail. So right here, I would GX out, and then I will extrude this, right? I can insert this, subdivide this twice, turn this into a circle, and scale this down. So with this, I can extrude outward, and then I can insert. But no, I want to call it 3D cursor to this point and just bring in a curve. So for the curve, I'm going to select this part and I'm going to select this first of all, bring cursor to this point. I'm going to select the first vertices or the first vertex of the Bezier curve, and I'm going to take that selection to a 3D cursor. So we have this there. I'm going to scale that down and rotate on the Z, right? And then the next vertex point right here, I think I'm just going to put it somewhere around here, right? So I'm going to select that and selection 3D cursor. So that's cool. This I'm going to RY, rotate just like so. This I'm going to RY, rotate, but let me see. I think I'm going to rotate like so. Scale this up. this, I'm going to RY rotate. So this is cool. I'm going to add some depth to that. This right here I can easy. That's too much. That's cool in there. I think this I can just extrude on this. See. Okay. RY. That's cool. This is going to be transformers 2. I'm going to move this to a new color. No, I'm going to shift DX, move this into a new collection. Transformers 2. That is good. I'm going to turn that off. Let's see if there's another variation that I would like to create. Okay, there's one I'm seeing right here. I would just like to, and it's more, the change is more on the vending side of things, more of the facade. And when I say facade, I mean this front right here. I'm going to make that change, and that will be all for the night. Before I move any further, I want to check the live, see if there's anyone there, and then move on. I'm going to make that. Okay, no replies, no chats, no new chat rather. So I'm going to go on to my modeling. So here's how I'm going to share this part. I'm going to take this and I'm going to scale just like so, and SY. Right? I like this. This works for what I'm trying to do. It is not bad. But I'm going to select some of this. Right? Delete, and then all of this I can GX in SX. So that's cool. I'm going to bring cursor to origin, GX, and SY, GY. So that's cool. See this top face? I can extrude on the Z and then scale it down and just GY inward. So all of these points I'm going to delete. So I can select this and just duplicate it 3 times, and think I'm good for this. Let me mirror this on the Z and shift DX1. Repeat that selection, and with this, maybe this made an active element. I can SX, GX. So that's good. I like that actually. Next up is this one to the side. So this one to the side is cool. I would just GX on this, right, and kind of create the same framing that the top one had. All of this I'm going to GX in. Going to extrude this, scale this down, and GX, GZ. GZ. Okay. So right here, I'm going to select this and extrude along normals. I'm going to apply. No, I'm just going to apply scale. I beg you. Apply scale. And then, oh, I don't think this goes round, and that's a bummer actually. J. Okay, so that's cool. So this is going to be beveled, and this is going to be extruded out just like so. So that's cool. I think to the top of this I want to add in extra cylinders. So I'm going to add this right here, this right here. Select this, insert, turn this into a circle, and then extrude this, right? So for the extrusion, I'm going to ES, extrude. Bevel. One, two, three. Select boundary loops. That's good. I think this also I can just bevel. So that's cool. I'm going to shade auto smooth. Okay, so this is going to be transformers 3. What I'm going to do next is just save this. For our electrical transformers is going to be day 39. So I'm going to save this as day 39. Day 39. This is day 39 underscore electrical transformers. So that's cool. I'm going to save as, and I think this is pretty much it. I'm going to save. I'm going to park all resource, and I'm done with the stream. I'm just going to check one more if there's any charts. If there's not, it's going to be a wrap for this. Thank you so much, Dead Taco. Thank you so much, Mohammed, and thank you so much, Taiwo Noel. And yeah, thank you for just dropping a chat. That was encouraging. So that's about it, guys. So long, and until I see you guys in the next one. Peace.